Article number 2 and number 3 is about marketing localization. They actually talk not only about marketing localization, which can be quite a broad thing, but they both talk about personalization and how localization ties to this. And this is something that I was already mentioning before in a lot of the previous episodes, because that's what Gary V talks a lot about. So basically drafting the message not like for the whole total market, let's say one message that would go to all the potential customers in China, but drafting several more contextual and more personal messages, whether it's for social media or for ads, that are more targeted towards a specific person or like a buyer persona or like a demographic or psychographic. So and here we have not one but 2 different articles which talk about that. So the first one is from Gala. So, actually, based on the date, this one is from June 4th, 2019. So it's not a fresh one, but somehow I just stumbled upon it just now. I think maybe somebody was just linking it. And yeah, I think I'm like I still have a fresh memory of my very first episode of the Localization Podcast, where my idea was just to where I just googled localization news, and other than Slater, I also came across Gala and I think one other site, but these other sites didn't provide any good content. They were usually just like a collection of press releases. So that's why I stopped looking at them anymore. So this is kind of good that this article by Gala is here, and we're going to talk about it now. So the title is, Will Localization be the key to delivering true hyper-personalization in e-commerce? So hyper-personalization, another difficult word for me. This has been a hot topic among marketers in recent years. Some call it a strategic innovation, others see it as a new logical strategy to meet growing customer demands, while others still think of it as just another buzzword in online marketing. Well, it doesn't take a lot of time to figure out whether it's something that you should pay attention to. Just ask yourself whether you like it when businesses provide a personalized experience for you as a customer. For example, you receive an email that informs you that the price for a product you've recently viewed has dropped. Would it be more enticing to make a purchase compared to an email promoting a product which you never use? Absolutely. That's my answer. This is just a simple example of the kind of personalization that most businesses use today. It typically involves using a customer's name, purchase history, company, industry, title, etc. to make offers that suit their needs. The need for personalization was born out of necessity to understand customers' preferences and needs on a more personal level, which is something people appreciate. In fact, a Deloitte report found that 1 in 5 customers interested in personalized products or services are willing to pay a 20% premium to get them. A slightly higher price for personalization is not that big a deal for many, apparently. 22% of customers are willing to provide some data that can help businesses create more personalized product or service. People over 55 are much more likely to buy a personalized holiday than those aged between 16 and 24. Evidently, many customers want products and services that meet their expectations with personalization, so it makes perfect sense to engage and start collecting their data to create amazing offers. Unfortunately, personalization might not be enough for businesses to meet the growing needs of customers today. Putting a name into an email subject line is so 2015, and this created the necessity for another, more advanced level of personalization, hyper-personalization. It takes personalization one step further and takes such factors as localization much more seriously. So, let's suppose you have an app for your international coffee selling business. A user from, say, Italy downloaded the app, browsed it to find coffee beans from Kenya, explored some choices, but eventually left without adding anything to the shopping cart. You send them notifications that were read, but succeeded at convincing them to return to the website only once. Still no purchase. That's useless, right? Not exactly. By analyzing the activity of that user in your app, you can get some pretty amazing insights into their product preferences, including knowledge of quality and taste of coffee beans from Kenya, possible knowledge of brands of coffee that use the specific kind of coffee, the time with the highest chance of convincing the user to return to the website via a notification, an affinity for purchasing coffee stored in a specific way, and the geographical region where the customer resides. With all of these are incredibly useful for businesses in terms of creating customer-centered offers. Let's take a closer look at the last point in the list, and that's the geographical region. Shopify recently carried out an excellent study on global e-commerce trends and found that language was critical to international businesses to sell. In fact, they discovered the following. 67% of customers preferred navigation on the site and some content translated into their native languages. For example, businesses planning an expansion into China should consider exploring Mandarin, Cantonese, and simplified Chinese. 59% never or rarely buy from websites that have only English versions. 75% express the desire to purchase products in their local language. Amazing, right? Wait, so maybe the lack of the local language was the main reason why that Italy-based user of your app decided to leave without buying anything? It's certainly possible. But how come 54% of websites out there are in English, when English is just the third in terms of the estimated number of first language speakers? Well, one of the reasons for this rather bizarre situation is that hyper-personalization is just getting started. This is backed up by research. For example, the Hyper-Personalization Strategies report from Essen2 found that only 9% of marketing professionals completed the development of a hyper-personalization strategy. And so that's 9%, so 29% are working on it, 47% are talking about it, and 15% are doing nothing. This means that the importance of proper localization and translation as a part of it will significantly increase in the next few years as more and more e-commerce companies will try to reach diverse audiences by using translation services with international certification standards like the WordPoint. Is localization the key to true hyper-personalization in e-commerce? So, we know that people prefer to buy from websites that are translated in their native language, which, combined with traditional personalization techniques and behavior data, can really make a difference for business. The above-mentioned report from Essen2 supports this. When asked about the top priorities for their hyper-personalization strategy, they said that improving customer experiences and understanding customers better were among the most important goals. How to achieve hyper-personalization with localization? Many people make a terrible mistake by thinking that localization is limited by translation. Well, this couldn't be further from the truth because translation is just a part of the overall strategy. To make it clear what proper localization is, let's explore the techniques involved. Number 1. Website translation. As we already know, international customers prefer to buy products and services from websites that are translated into their language. That's nothing new. That's not localizing hyper-personalized messages. Number 2, content translation. Blog articles, videos, social media posts, you name it, everything needs to be properly localized to convey the original meaning in a way that local customers will understand. Again, nothing new. Multilingual chatbots. There's good evidence that chatbots are helping businesses with customer support and content marketing. So translating the scripts to adapt your chatbots to local audiences makes perfect sense. Using predictive analytics to personalize a customer journey. By using your app, website, and other digital products, customers are providing you with tons of useful materials that can be used to improve personalization. Finally, using artificial intelligence, many of the tasks above can be completed by using such technologies as machine learning. So the impact of AI-powered solutions for localization and hyper-personalization will increase in the next years. Time to learn and adapt. That's the final paragraph of this article from Gala. Clearly, doing everything listed above to achieve true hyper-personalization won't be easy, but it's something that you have to do to win in the international market. But at this point, it's becoming increasingly clear that hyper-personalization can be a major source of competitive advantage and a powerful tool to drive customer loyalty for international business. Hopefully, this article inspired you to discover more about localization as a part of online marketing and an effective method to deliver a truly personalized experience for your customers regardless of their location in the world. The article started pretty nicely, but then towards the end, when I thought they were trying to finally get to how localization needs to adapt or need to change, or what are the expectations when you are dealing with hyper personalization. But I'm looking at the final main section of the article, which is how to achieve hyper personalization with localization, and then they just talk about website and content translation and multilingual chatbots and using machine learning. So yeah, it's not very specific, and I think they kind of missed the punchline.